Hi folks, today we're going to be going through the breakdown of Going to California. This song was fairly intricate. It was complicated due to the fact that it's got an alternate D tuning that's used, but also I think there's about 2 guitars and 2 mandolins and they're all jamming together. It was quite a feat to try and pick out the one particular guitar to focus on. So that said, this is our interpretation of Going to California as we hear it. Doug already mentioned an alternate detuning is used, which allows certain tones to continually ring throughout the piece, and it gives it a particular feel because as you move up and down the neck of the guitar, you're consistently hearing certain D notes ringing. You know, some of them are open Ds and others are fretted Ds, so it gives it a certain feel. First I'd like to demonstrate the picking style that I'm using, and you can certainly use different fingering if you choose. My picking is self-taught, so I'll take no offense if you experiment and you find something that works better for yourselves. You'll notice that the octave D notes ring fairly continually throughout the picking, and the open D notes and the fretted D notes ring throughout, so it's giving it a sense of tension at some points, because you hear that they're playing the same note, but they ring differently when you play them open or fretted. So, especially when you play them one after the other. So, I think the other thing I want to say is that it's really important to practice the picking style over and over and over, just to get the groove of it. And then after you've done that, you can start experimenting going up and down the neck using the different finger positioning, and that way you always have the bass notes ringing through. So the first chord I play is basically, you're just depressing one string. I use my third finger, and just because it's easy for me to move around with the other chords afterwards, but for that first chord I use my third finger, use the second string on the 3rd fret. So it's this string right here. And when you play it open, it's like this. And then with the picking style, what I do is I go so it's the first note I play is open 6th string, which is a D, and then open 1st string, and I'm using my 3rd finger for that. So you're playing octaves like that. So it's open 6th, open 1st, and then open 4th, and then 3rd finger on the 2nd string, which is D as well. So you're hearing all these octaves. So what I'm using for the fingering, thumb, 3rd, thumb, 2nd, thumb, 3rd, thumb. So again, the only string that I'm pushing down on this first chord is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then, so what you're going to be playing for that first chord is just basically octaves, and you're playing the thumb on the 6th string and your 3rd finger on the 1st string, and they're both open. And then the next note is the thumb on the 4th string, open, and then you're using your 2nd finger to play the open, or to play the fretted 2nd string, and then back to the thumb on the 6th and 3rd on the 1st, and then thumb on the 4th. So it's going 6 1 4 2 6 1 4 6 1 4 2 6 1 4. Those are the strings. So if you keep practicing, and while we're doing this picking style, I'll get you to practice sliding up this third finger up to the 7th fret, same string, and at that time put your first finger down on the 5th fret first string, and just keep doing that same picking style. Slide back down. And you hear the bass that's always ringing. That's what your thumb is always playing. And then what you can also try down here, another one of the variations that we use in this chord is this finger, your third finger, gets a little bit sore because you're constantly depressing that same string and sliding up and down, but I think it's still best to play that string with that finger, because then one of the variations you're going to do is take your second finger and press down on the 2nd fret of the 1st string, and that will be giving you this sound. And then back open, 1st string, go back down. And then slide up to the 7th fret with this finger, and then slide back down. See how it gives it a certain feel? It's giving you a groove, and just keep practicing that over and over and over, all sliding up and down. It doesn't really matter where you're going to go with this at the very beginning, because you're just trying to get into that groove of that picking style. It's a different kind of feel. And then once you're doing that, then we'll go into the actual song. But so the chords, what we're going to be playing, we start off with this open D. And then one of the variations is, like I said, you depress the 1st string, 2nd fret, with your 2nd finger. And then sliding up again with your 3rd finger up on the 7th fret, and your 1st finger, I find easier to use the 1st finger there, on the 5th fret of the 1st string. And then you're sliding back down to just the open D, with the 3rd finger depressing the 2nd string of the 3rd fret.
Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers.
For this section, you're going to take your 2nd finger and 5th fret of the 6th string, you're going to press that down, and you're going to take your 3rd finger, 5th fret of the 1st string. For this picking style, what you're going to be doing is, it's going to sound like this. So you're doing thumb and 3rd finger on your picking hand together, and those are the 6th and the 1st string. And then you're going to arpeggiate, like with your 2nd back to the 1st on the 2nd string and the 3rd string. So you're going, and then you put this finger down and you do that again. And then you're going to put your 3rd finger down on the 2nd string. So you're going, and this one has a different feel. It's got, instead of doing your, instead of that kind of picking, that style, you're doing a and it's if you can do it, it's a little difficult, but if you can keep this bass ringing, I found it a little bit difficult to continue that throughout the whole song, but with practice I probably could get it. You're doing so. For this one, the bass notes that will be constantly ringing will be the 6th string and the 4th string, and you'll hear those ringing. So it goes like this, and so what you're doing with that, this finger, your second finger is constantly depressing the 6th string on the 5th fret. But just to show the fingering, I'm going to take this finger off just to show you what your other fingers are doing. So the first one is 1st string, 5th fret, and you're depressing that with your 3rd finger. And so you're doing you're just rolling off with the 1st string, the 2nd string, and the 3rd string. And I tend to use my 3rd, 2nd, 1st finger. So, and then if you put your 2nd finger down on the 4th fret of the 1st string, and then you're going to go back with the 3rd finger up to the 2nd string, but back to the 5th fret, and do the same roll, and then open. So that in context with your 2nd finger fretting the 6th string on the 5th, it sounds like this. So practice that over and over and over, because you want to get that groove. It's like a syncopated kind of feel. So you're going to keep practicing that over and over and over, and then you go back to the open D. But what I find at this point, you're going to be playing it, depressing the 1st string, 2nd fret with your 2nd finger as well. Back to that other picking style, and you're going to then lift off that 2nd finger. Okay, so you're going. And then slide back up to the 7th and the 5th frets, 1st and 2nd strings. Back down to the open D. So you're going, let's go from the beginning. You're going. practicing that over and over and over and over. I think that's one of the keys, is practice, practice, practice.